Hey, Grampian Nation. Randy Gage has written 15 books. He's gone from prison blues to Wall Street. 25 languages those books have been translated into. So come with me and figure out why on the Grampian Standby.
In 2013, I coined the name Grampian, and I gave it to your host, Jim Tracy.
Randy Gage, welcome to the show, man. Good to see you.
Hey, great to be on with you.
All right. Looks like we're chasing the same barber around. Very few perfect heads in this world, but we own two of them, right?
There you go.
Okay. So you are kind of an acclaimed author and 15 books. I mean, I've written like one, I got another one done. It's at the publisher and but I'm thinking it's like three's the limit and you're at 15 in 25 languages. What got you started on that?
I always knew I would be a writer since I was a kid, but I thought I was going to be writing espionage novels like Robert Ludlum, Trevanian kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I will eventually. I do. That's one of the things I want to do is write that kind of novel and maybe a sci-fi trilogy, just
Yeah.
because I'm a sci-fi geek.
Yeah. Is that a
But
bucket list
yeah,
thing?
it was just in business and, as a speaker and training for companies. And everybody says, you got to have a book. You got to have a book. Why don't you write a book?
Yeah.
And so I wrote a book, which was terrible, but has sold probably 1.5 million copies and in a bunch of different languages.
Yeah.
And kind of put me on the map.
Right.
Like I say, if I read it today, it's terrible. But at the time, it seemed breakthrough to me and everybody else who
Uh-huh.
bought it. So, but then so I've just sent number 16. I just sent to my editor for the final,
Wow.
literally yesterday.
Uh-huh. Isn't it fun when they're done with the final? Because the editing process for me was way worse than writing.
Much worse than writing. The editing is just arduous.
You know,
So I keep a big monitor and then I work from a Word document and I blow it up to like 125%. So it's just a little easier on my eyes
uh-huh.
but it's still, the thrill of the hunt when you're writing is much better than the editing stuff for sure.
Yeah, right on. Now you're also a Hall of Fame speaker. How did that come about?
Well, I'm in the National Speakers Association.
Yeah.
They are the ones who award that distinction.
Yep.
I've been a member since 1991.
Wow.
And when I first started in the business, I just got a mailing, like literally a friend. I didn't get the mailing. My friend got a mailing and was like, I was just about to do a public seminar. I was going to launch this seminar business. And he said, hey, did you see this? There's a Florida Speakers Association. And they are a chapter of the National Speakers Association, which is out of Phoenix. And so they do have a Hall of Fame with Ronald Reagan and Zig Ziglar and
Oh
Colin
yeah.
Powell and Tony Robbins and Les Brown and
Clint
whoever.
Pulver.
Yes,
Yeah.
Clint
This
got
year,
in
Clint
last
Pulver,
year.
props for Clint, man. He's a buddy from
Yeah.
Salt Lake right down the road from me.
Good for you. Good. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was literally last year
Yeah.
and I was sitting right up front for his acceptance speech.
Yeah.
He killed it. He did a great job.
Yeah. So, as you move forward in your career and you're seeing more books of that sci-fi category and the Robert Ludlum thrillers, is that like a bucket list thing for you?
Yeah, because it's not for anything to do with my career.
Hmm.
It's not even a financial goal or plan or whatever. It's just something that I want to do for me. I write my regular books so that I know what I'm thinking. That's the real reason I write them. It
Yeah.
forces me to clarify my thoughts. Whereas, like, and you probably know this, experience this. I can go and give a speech and crush it and get a standing ovation and they love it. And I go back to my room and I say, oh my God, I told them I was going to give them the 3 secrets of success and I only gave them 2 of them,
Yeah,
and they didn't notice it, but in a book, you notice it.
for
So
sure.
wait a minute, this chapter was supposed to have the 3 keys of how to buy real estate with no money down. And you gave 1 and 2, but you didn't give number
Yeah,
3.
there's no close.
That gets, yeah, that gets picked up in a book.
Yeah.
And anytime you jump the shark or your logic doesn't make sense,
Mm,
it'll jump off the page in the editing process. Whereas in the speech, it won't.
yeah.
So I always, like, even the people I work with on projects, people who work for me, and they call me up and they want to ramble about something. I'm like, please put it in an email and send me. Summarize what you're looking for,
Yeah.
and send me an email. And then if I force them to write it down, it'll force them to think it through, so they won't spend 25 minutes trying to ask me something they should be asking in 3 minutes.
Yeah. I have a buddy who says if your email is longer than 3 sentences, don't push send.
Yeah, I would disagree with him.
Yeah. This distillation, he's a publisher, by the way.
He
Anyway,
won't be publishing me anytime
yeah.
soon.
Well, I think he wants short emails is the whole point, and brevity is sometimes. Mark Twain I think said I would have wrote a longer letter, or a shorter letter, but I didn't have time. Yeah.
Yeah, see, but like I'll send a 4-page email because I know that'll save me a 60-minute meeting.
There you go. There
So
you go.
it's just depending on, for me, I feel like I'm the most productive person you ever met,
Right
right?
on.
Unless you've met Elon, because he does more than I do. But other than him, I don't know anyone who gets more done in a day, in a week than I do. I'm like maniacal about it. I'm just hugely productive.
Yeah.
I have all kind of systems and routines, and I use AI for everything, and
Hmm.
all kind of stuff like that. Um, but part of that is, and so I just, when they ask me for a meeting, my first response would be, could this be handled in an email?
Yeah.
Could this be handled in a voice note?
Love it.
You know, you
Love
know.
it. Okay. So we're going to get into that and the prosperity operating system and some things like that. But before we do, your headline is kind of like makes some people wince when they think about somebody in jail. And I'm going to read this for you. His journey from a jail cell as a teen to the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, and USA Today bestseller list proves that reinvention is possible. Tell us about the start you had in life.
Yeah, I was in jail for armed robbery and burglary at
Mm,
15 years old. I was a drug and alcohol addict and made a lot of poor choice, probably zigged when I should have zagged.
yeah.
So I ended up at 15 in jail waiting for a trial. And, that gives you a wonderful opportunity to rethink your life and
Mm,
how you're living it.
yeah.
And I did.
Yeah. I know a guy, and he told me that God loved him so much that he made him a criminal that was bound to be caught. And I think there's a lot of wisdom in that, isn't there?
Yeah, there could be, if you have the right mindset to learn the lesson.
Hmm.
The universe will give you, God, universe, whatever label you want to use, will give you some opportunities to learn
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people who I know, myself included, that have benefited significantly from second, maybe third, maybe fourth chances. So yeah, hopefully it doesn't take us too many, right?
Yeah, it shouldn't have to take us any, right? We should, with all the books available and the podcasts and the
Yeah.
blogs, you would think. But I was one of those people. I needed to do things the hard way and learn the hard lessons.
Yeah, I think me too. But you talk about maverick reinvention. What does that look like?
I just believe that we are meant to evolve, and that all my work is, I'm just trying to make the world a more prosperous place,
Mm-hmm.
right? Whether it's a blog, book, podcast, whatever I'm doing, I want to make the world more prosperous. And I believe the way you make the world more prosperous isn't with charity, it isn't with entitlement, it's with empowerment, it's
Mm,
with education, it's with inspiration.
yeah,
So we empower people to become the highest possible version of themselves. So for me, this has been a reinvention process. Like, if people close to me, if you say, what's going on with Randy, they'll probably say, well, I think he's on his fourth midlife crisis right now, or maybe it's his fifth. I'm not sure.
yeah,
And so they joke with me about that, but I'm hope that I'll have 8 midlife crises
yeah,
before I'm done. That 45, 50 years from now, when I'm 120, I'm saying, I'm having a midlife crisis. I think I want to reinvent myself.
yeah,
And that's what I've done through my life. If you really work on yourself every day, which is what I do, I work on me every day,
hmm,
you will find yourself completely reinventing yourself over and over.
yeah. And how many careers has that brought you through?
I wouldn't even know where to count, other than I would just say I'm an entrepreneur, so that allows me the latitude of doing all kind of different things, but it
hmm,
still falls under the umbrella of being an entrepreneur.
yeah. And same here. And I don't think some people really have a grasp. An entrepreneur sometimes has nothing to do with what you do, it's who you are. And it's involving the creation of value that goes beyond yourself. Do you find that accurate?
Yes, 100%. Because I think you manifest prosperity by two ways, and we could possibly put a third. But what do we do to manifest prosperity? Is we solve problems or we add value.
Hmm.
Hopefully, we do both. We solve problems and value. And you could make an argument for a third one and say, or envision superior possibilities, right?
Hmm.
Steve Jobs said, I think the world needs an iPad.
Yeah.
Nobody in the world was asking for that, right?
Right.
Nobody was saying, you know what I need? I need a phone that's like 5 times bigger than this.
Yeah.
And nobody was saying, I need a computer laptop, but without the bottom half.
Yeah.
Nobody. But when you saw the iPad, you said, I got to have one of those, right? So he envisioned a superior possibility. Now, I could say you could easily put that under solving problems or adding value. So
Sure.
choose whichever one you want, right?
Yeah.
But that's what the best entrepreneurs do, is we solve problems and we add value.
And then in the search through that problem solving and that value addition, we are also creating opportunity for people beyond ourselves. So when I see you say prosperity, I don't think of money. I think of progress. I think of, and money's just accounting methodology for me. It's kind of like a scoreboard. And so prosperity is, I mean, when we rolled our business up, I counted how many taxpayers I created and how many homeowners I created and how many people that came into the world with not much of a chance, and they're going to exit having done something way more significant for themselves and their families. Would you agree with that?
The So what's the premise? What's the question? Am I agreeing with? I forgot, because then you gave a lot of examples. What your
Yeah.
business?
So the
I
notion
forgot what was the first question.
the notion of prosperity, a lot of people would think that's
Oh
only
yeah, yeah,
money.
about just
That's
being
only
money. Yeah, yeah,
financial remuneration or something.
100%. Yeah, let me give a free resource.
Please.
Everybody listening or watching, randygage.com, my webpage. right on the homepage, there's a PDF, the 7 elements of an abundant life.
Mm.
So, and if you can, put that in the show notes, please.
Oh, we will.
Everyone watching, just download that. It's free.
Yeah.
But it kind of shows you my take on that, which you'll see it runs very parallel to what you're saying there.
Hmm.
I think money and material, for people who say it's just money or it's just things, I think that's a mistake.
Yeah.
I believe everything at its ultimate level is energy vibrations, right? And energy we know can be attracted or energy can be repelled.
Hmm.
So when you say it's just money and things, you're repelling that.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's going to serve you.
Yeah.
Other hand, if you think, well, if I just get more money, that will solve all my problems, that's a bad premise too.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Money will solve your money problems.
Yeah.
It won't solve your dysfunctional relationship problems. It won't solve your lack of discipline, eating problems, or
Mm,
unhealthy addiction problems, or whatever, right?
for sure.
Although we can also argue if you have money, you might get better addiction care and better whatever, right? But yeah, I actually, this new book that I just sent in the final draft of is, I believe there's 4 quadrants of prosperity, and money and material things are in one of those 4 quadrants.
For sure. And what are the other four? Just let's promote this book a little bit.
Yeah, so the other 4 are health and
Oh,
wellness.
that's big.
And then the third one is mental harmony.
Hmm.
And the fourth one is contribution or significance.
Yeah, for
So the
sure.
second one, where the money material things are, that's resources.
Yeah,
So there's resources, wellness, harmony,
yeah,
and contribution.
yeah. I've never been accused of mental harmony. People think I'm a little nutty, so I guess that's an internal thing for me. But now you wrote Prosperity Operating System. Tell us about that.
I'm just, I'm blessed or cursed, depending on your viewpoint, of being on the spectrum. And part of how that plays out for me is I'm the most rational, logical, analytical person you've met that's not a robot.
Hmm.
And so I just think in terms of systems.
Yeah,
I have routines, I have systems, I have processes. So I think when somebody comes to me and says, well, I'm $40,000 worth of credit card debt and I have no savings and I don't make much money, and I'm saying we got to look at the operating system.
yeah,
It's your problem, because they say, give me a business idea. Is there a cryptocurrency I should buy that's
yeah,
going to make me rich? Should I invest in real estate? Should I? And I'm like, that isn't even a conversation you're prepared to have right now.
yeah.
We have to reboot your operating system, and we have to teach you what the money game is
Hmm.
and how to win the
Yeah,
money game.
yeah. And money's a tool like anything else. And if you sharpen the tool, you don't have to have a big knife to sharpen a knife. You don't have to have a big, disc out in the field to have a straight furrow. You just need to spend, like I think it was Abe Lincoln who said, if I had an hour to cut down a tree, I'd spend the first 50 minutes sharpening my axe.
Yeah,
Is
for
that
sure.
true about finances as well?
Yeah, I mean, because I used to say, this is one of the chapters in the book, the new book, that I talked about how I always used to say, if I lost everything, I'd be a millionaire again within a year. And not only did I say it, but I proved it
Yeah.
twice. And then I thought, well, this is really stupid. Why am I proving this?
Yeah.
Instead of proving that I could lose everything and get it back and become a millionaire again, why don't I just learn how to make money and then be a steward of money
Yeah.
and then grow money? And so my money would go to work for me
Yeah.
instead of me going to work for money. So that is the operating system. My
Hmm.
operating system is you should wake up every day wealthier than you were when you went to bed the night before.
Yeah.
If you're not wealthier on Tuesday than you were Monday night, we got to reboot your operating system because
Yeah.
something's wrong.
Yeah.
Because you're trading hours for money and there's a finite amount of hours and something is off. You don't have your money working for you.
In your book, you talk about how to fuel failure into like a renovation of success. How do you let failure fuel you?
Um, I'm fueled by failure in the sense of I do allow it to happen. I'm willing to fail.
Hmm.
I was just recording a show 20 minutes before talking to you, and this subject came up. And like when I'm coaching my guys at softball,
Yeah.
and I've got a new team I'm coaching, the beginner level, they barely know anything about the game. And I was doing a clinic on how to bat, how to place your feet, where to start your hands, how to get the ideal swing path to the ball so
Hmm.
we can square it up, create the backspin, elevate it. It's a science to me, right? Everything's a system, right? So
Right.
I'm looking at, okay, bat speed, swing path, velocity. If we can
Yeah.
get high velocity line drives, you're going to bat 800, and you can. And I've proven it. I've been doing it for years and years, right? So and they're like, oh my, they're swinging and missing, and they're getting self conscious. And I'm saying, guys, you can't look good and get better at the same time. So let's just forget about looking good.
Hmm.
We're all going to look silly. We don't care. But we're going to learn the science of how to hit a ball and hit smoking line drives
Hmm.
to every area of the field.
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to fail, you're not really willing to win.
Yeah.
There's no you talk about champions, right? You can't be a champion if you're not willing to fail in the pursuit of that championship.
For sure.
And so I hate to lose. I'm a very competitive guy. I hate to lose, but I do look on losses, and I just look on them as stepping stones. Okay, I learned this didn't work very well. How do I modify this? What do I need to change? What's the skill I need to develop? What's the knowledge I need to gain that'll allow me to ultimately prevail the next time?
Yeah. One of the things that I talk about on stage a lot is tuition and learning to have failure benefit you. That's really, I mean, it's pretty expensive tuition, but it's a great teacher. I'd rather sometimes learn from somebody else's paid tuition, which is learning by
Right.
listening, but learning by doing. I think a lot of us, especially on the entrepreneurial side, have been so aggressive, maybe that's the best way that we learn, and we learn how to actually process that more quickly, and then use that high tuition learning for the benefit of the people around us.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen and amen.
All right. So I'm going to like switch gears here a little bit because you mentioned AI, and a lot of people are so scared they can't spell AI yet. And as an entrepreneur, how do you benefit from something that is so revolutionary that you don't quite know how to get your mind around it yet?
Let me count the ways. I get the overwhelm because it's really, really easy to be overwhelmed with
Mm,
that. For instance, I'm doing a seminar with Ford Sakes. We're doing some together where we're teaching people how to use AI for entrepreneurs.
uh-huh.
And one of the things you'll see in the marketing copy, one of the things we'll say in the thing is, we're not AI experts. We would never even think to try and call ourselves an AI expert, because anybody who tells you they're an AI expert today is a pathological liar,
Yeah.
is whether they mean to be or not. Because Elon Musk can't be an AI expert right now.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Altman can't be an AI expert right now. The guy from OpenAI,
Yeah.
Satya from Microsoft can't be an AI expert
Because
right
it
now.
switched by tomorrow morning. Yeah.
It switches by tomorrow morning. So what you can do, and the thing, I gotta promote this bigger in the copy for this seminars that I do with Ford, because we're both high school dropouts,
Mm.
right? Yet as high school dropouts, I will never call myself an AI expert, right? But I will say I know more about AI than 98% of the planet. And I believe I can back that up,
Nice.
right? Because I've spent 3 years studying this. 3 years ago, I said, okay, this one's going to be a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
It was like social media in 2005,
Yeah.
right? I looked and I said, you know what? This Twitter thing, there's something here. I'm going to learn it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get in there. I'm going to get in the room. I'm going to read the room, and then I'm going to come in. And at
Mm.
one time, I was the number one tweeter in the world. I had done more than 50,000 tweets.
Wow.
And now I'm sure I'm nowhere on the list, because you have bots that tweet every
Yeah.
3 minutes. I manually tweeted
Do you have
50,000 times.
carpal tunnel now?
I do have carpal tunnel. Uh, because I don't know how to type. I do hunt and peck. So
Okay.
believe me, when I'm writing a book or doing, I'm doing it.
I hear you.
Uh, but I just said, okay, I'm going to learn. And once I learned that, I said, okay, YouTube is next. I'm going to know YouTube. And I did Facebook, right?
Yeah.
And then I just took them one by one.
There you go.
And that's what I did with AI. I said,
Yeah.
okay, this is like being on Twitter in 2004,
Yeah.
or when it was just coming out. You know what? There's something here. And this one I've written 2 books that other people would call them futurist books, right?
Mm-hmm.
In 2012, I wrote a book called Risky is the New Safe. That became New York Times, Amazon, Wall Street Journal, USA Today, #1 money book, Business Weekly, Publishers Weekly, everything. It was a bestseller everywhere. And I was talking this crazy
Grampian.
about things like cryptocurrency and
Mm-hmm.
Bitcoin, and crazy stuff like Uber and Lyft, and crazy stuff like colonizing the moon or going to Mars. And I remember doing radio shows and TV shows and podcasts, to promote the book.
Uh-huh.
And people just thought I was nuts. And if you look back and you read the book now, you'd say, well, of course you could see all that stuff. It's so obvious. But you know what? In 2011, when I was actually writing the book, it wasn't obvious.
Yeah.
And any futurist would tell you, you don't really predict the future. You just look around the corner. The future's already here.
Yeah.
I forget which guy said it first. The future's already here, just isn't evenly distributed yet, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I wrote that book, and then I wrote another one called Mad Genius.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I was looking at artificial intelligence, cloning, robotics, and just all this stuff. And I always look at it from a layperson's point of view, because I don't have a choice. I'm a high school dropout, right? So, like, why am I a good copywriter? You say you should write your copy at 8th grade conversational level. Well, I was expelled in the 9th grade, so I don't have a choice. Right?
Providential, my friend. Providential.
Yeah. So I look at AI, and same way I looked at any other technology. And I say, okay, how can this enhance my life? If this happens the way it looks like it's going to happen, how is that going to impact the world? How's it going to impact jobs? How's it going to impact business? How's it going to impact money? Blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at this and I said, this is going to be the most cataclysmic development of my lifetime.
Really?
Yes. And I will tell anyone watching this show today, AI is going to be the most cataclysmic development of your lifetime.
Mm.
And it doesn't matter if you're in your 20s, 40s, 60s, or 80s. AI is going to be the most cataclysmic. People are talking about tens of millions of jobs being disrupted. Not even close. There will be at least 3 billion jobs disrupted by AI.
Mm-hmm.
AI is going to change everything. You know, my friend sent me this breathless message like 2 days ago. It's like, Elon Musk just told everybody that doctors are dead, that in 3 years, AI will be doing all medicine and no mother should let their child study to be a doctor. Can you believe it? And I'm like, well, why wouldn't he say that? Of course, that's true.
And the
My friend's
diagnostics
like,
are
what are you
proving
talking about?
that.
I'm like, literally, do you realize I'm on a plane coming back from San Diego? You know what I was doing in San Diego? I was going to a human longevity center where they did a Grail blood test,
Mm-hmm.
which measures like the the scales or the of the cells that are cancerous, what they shed,
Yeah.
so they could detect a cancer cell before it's a cancer cell.
Yeah.
They do a head to toe MRI. They actually sequence my genome to get my DNA,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's what I was doing in California because this is where we're at. Not just preventative medicine, but predictive medicine.
Yeah.
Like Scott Adams, I think he just died, right? If he had this test 10 years ago, he'd still be alive.
Yeah.
If Steve Jobs had this test 10 years before he died,
Mm.
he's probably still around, right?
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know, I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on the internet and none of that. But I'm just saying this kind of testing can cause a lot of people to live longer, right? Everybody who's 50 and older should take this test.
Yeah.
But that's all AI. It's not humans reading that stuff.
Yeah. And
When you go get a CAT scan, do you think there's a human? There's a doctor at some point, but he's reading a report that was generated by AI because the AI has a much more effective, higher rating of efficiency and accuracy than any human can do. So of course doctors are going to be obsolete, right?
Yeah.
Of course, everything. When Clint got his Hall of Fame induction at that same convention, I did a program for the speakers there.
NSA. Yeah.
And what I told them was 98% of you are going to be out of business within 3 years if you don't change your business model.
For sure.
Because 98% of the people in that room at that convention are selling what they know.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 years from now, nobody is going to pay you for what you know.
Yeah.
Because AI knows
It's commonly
everything.
available. Yeah.
AI knows everything you know, everything I know, everything everybody knows. It's read everybody's book. It's listened to everybody's podcast. It's read everybody's website. It's read every research study, every white paper, every whatever.
Yeah.
It does that in, 12 minutes and 13 seconds. So if you want to be, what I told these guys was, if you want to be in business 3 years from now, people are going to hire you. They're going to pay you to know what you think.
Mm.
And if you don't position yourself as an iconic thought leader,
Mm-hmm.
nobody's going to be hiring you.
Yeah.
Oh, I have my, you know, I've got intellectual property. Oh, really? What's your intellectual property? Oh, I have this system. It's called grit. And the G stands for gumption.
Yeah.
You got to have gumption. And the R stands for resilience. And you're like, I'll be like, kill me now.
We all
This
have
is
one.
what you think is IP? I have a keynote. It's called the 4 C's of success. The first C is this is what you think is IP? This is what you think people are going to pay you for 3 years from now? Ain't happening, Bubba.
Yeah.
So AI, I know this is a long journey from your original question, but AI is worth that, discussion. It's the most impactful thing in our life. And so, like, for me, I've created like 4 different agents. And when I say I've created, that means I paid somebody to do them.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about programming.
Yeah.
But like, I'm a podcaster like you, right? Let's say, give me a NSA speaker that I should put on my podcast. Give me a name. Somebody you know.
Meredith.
Okay, Meredith. Right. So if I want Meredith on my podcast and she says yes, I have an agent. And I type in, Meredith is my next guest. Please prepare everything.
Mm-hmm.
4 seconds later,
Yeah.
maybe 3, literally 3 to 4 seconds later, it will have a bio of Marilyn. It will have a list of 15 sample questions that I might want to answer. It will give me a promo description for the episode. It'll give me suggested titles for the episode.
Mm-hmm.
It will give me the the YouTube show description with the meta tags and the tag words I should use. It will give me 10 social media promos I could use to promote the show, and an intro to introduce her at the start of the show.
And 4 shorts.
And that's in 3 to 4 seconds,
Yeah.
right? I could actually share screen and do it for you, and
Yeah.
you would like, I cannot believe that.
No, I can't
Right.
believe it. And with fiber optics, you can make it 3 seconds.
Yeah, and I programmed it right with the parameters of here's what I need
Mm-hmm.
to have done. So you use these tools to create workflows, right?
Exactly.
So I have one for a newsletter, I have one for my podcast, and then I've created a co-CEO. It's a brain that thinks it's trained on my 10,000 blog posts, my 16 books, my 500 YouTube shows, my 100,000 tweets, my whatever, to think and write like me. And I'm just, not a day goes by that I don't get goosebumps from some answer that it gives me.
Yeah.
That I'm just like, no, wait a minute. There has to be a human in the machine, or there's a camera somewhere and they have an actor who's feeding the voice into the machine.
Yeah.
This is not possible that a machine could think this way, but they do.
But they do. Because they've extracted all your information. I mean, that's as
But
simple as it
just
is.
that.
It
They
is thinking like
extracted
you.
all of my information, and then they said, and if that is true, what would happen next? And if that happened, what would happen after that? And it's doing intuition. It's doing, like, we have $1 million speakers group at NSA, as you know, probably. So I was at the $1 million group, that same convention, and we were going around the room. Everybody was talking about AI, and I heard like 15 people in a row. They were like, yes, and AI is amazing, and all my clients are using it, and people asking for it, but I know it'll never replace me because it can't have intuition, doesn't have emotion. It doesn't have the human element. I think people, one guy said, I think people are going to be so tired of AI, they're going to want a real human. And I listened to all this and it came to me and I said, what I heard is 15 people making excuses for why they believe AI isn't going to replace them. And I think you're all full.
Grampian.
And I think it's much more likely that instead of people saying they're tired of AI and they want to talk to a real human, they're going to say, I'm tired of talking to humans. Let me just talk to the AI
Yeah.
because they're quicker, better, more efficient. The answer is right, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you can see I was making a lot of friends at that convention,
Sure.
as you would expect. But this is the reality, right?
I
This
think
is
so.
what
How does
people,
the average entrepreneur begin the process of engagement then?
you get on Chat GPT, you get on Claude, you practice it, you make videos on Soro, you make PDFs on whatever. You just get in it and start to read the room.
Roll up your sleeves and start figuring out how to type prompts.
So I got a partner, right? We run a media outlet. So he sends me a text one day and he says, "I'm worried that I'm spending too much time on AI every day." And I wrote him back and I said, "At this point in history, it's impossible to spend too much time on
Yeah.
AI right now." If you told me, "No, Randy, my work is suffering. I'm taking 10 hours every day studying how to use AI," I would tell you that's the best thing you could ever do
Wow. It's an
because
investment
it's
that's going to
going to pay
return.
off so big for you that, the like even when I wrote the risky book, I was saying, your kid that you're yelling at today because all he does is play with video games, he's the next brilliant heart transplant surgeon
Yeah.
because that's how heart transplants are going to be.
Yeah.
Is it's going to be a guy in a room with a joystick and the patient is 10,000 miles away
Yeah.
in an operating room, and the guy who's so good with that his mother was yelling at him all childhood because he was playing video games, he's going to be the guy so good with the joystick that he's transplanting the heart. And
Provided
now
we can get a low enough latency and so that so the lag between clipping and
oh,
suturing
he'll
isn't
be
too
there.
long.
He'll be there. Not even an issue. We're so close now,
All right.
right?
So let's
Yeah. So
speaking of close, we're getting close to landing this plane. And one of the things that we always do on the at Grampian is we ask a question because obviously, from childhood to now, you have lived an extraordinarily huge life. And there is someone who's a champion back there in your history who impacted you, affected your journey in such a significant way that you got to say thank you and give them some props right now. Who would that be?
I'll give Baxter Richardson, who was a
Baxter
school.
Richardson. Wow.
Yes, he's a school teacher. He was a school teacher, the father of a girl that I went to school with. So
Hmm.
when I was in jail at 15 years old, she said, "Dad, you got to save Randy Gage. He's in jail. Go and help him."
Wow.
And one day there was some jingle in the door and the opened and they brought in this guy who I'd never met. It was Baxter. And he told me, "You don't belong here. You're capable of great things."
Yeah. Wow.
And I told him he was full of, you know what?
Uh
He should have slapped me into the next week,
huh.
but he didn't. He responded with generosity. He
Wow.
said, "No, I talked to your teachers. They tell me you skip school for 3 weeks and you come in and you ace a test. Do you know your reading comprehension level is above college? You
Wow.
don't belong here. You could do great things."
Yeah.
And because I was so desperate to believe him, I
Mm,
believed him.
nice.
And because I believed him, it was true.
All right. Perfect. Baxter Richardson, thank you for investing in Randy Gage. And Randy, how are people going to get in touch with you after this program airs?
Best way is the website, randygage.com. That's my kind of Starfleet command site. The podcast is there, the blog is there, Breakthrough You, the entrepreneurial coaching program is there, everything.
Right on. All right. Well, until next time, you, Grampian Nation, you keep chasing those Grampian-sized dreams. This is Jim for Randy, and I am out. When you get an opportunity, subscribe or follow wherever you get your podcast.